Hi, my name is Torsten. We're heading into a new milestone, 15.10, and we're about to release 15.9. In February, GitLab started a new financial year and also a new quarter. Therefore, I would like to use the opportunity to give you an update for the category direction for source code management. Now, before we look into the future, let's take a brief look at what we are going to release in 15.9. So for self-managed users, we're going to release GitLab SSHD, which is a standalone SSH server, which compared to OpenSSH will give you metrics collection. It will give you more logging than OpenSSH, more logging detail, and it will give you graceful shutdowns for your SSH connections. When you're operating behind a proxy, it will also pass you on the original IP address. GitLab has been using it since 15.2 in gitlab.com, and 100% of the traffic has been going through it since then. It started as a community contribution, GitLab SSHD, and therefore I want to give great thanks to Lorenz Brunn, who started this. Thank you, Lorenz. Another contribution is from Jihu, which is an important improvement around code owners. So far, it's only possible to require an approval of code owner or make it optional, but it would only be one approval required. With this change, you can now require multiple approvals for certain parts of your code base, files, directories, file types, like code owners in general, but now you can say, I want multiple approvals for certain users, certain parts of the code. So far, if you wanted multiple approvals, you had to revert to approval rules, which are for a branch and not for specific directories of files. Therefore, if you required multiple approvals, it would be for the whole branch. Even if minor things were changed, you would still have to have two approvals for your merge request. So it resulted in more approval work than with this solution now. So where we're heading in this year, I want to talk about 4 things today: branch rules, forking, tags, and code owners. Let's start with branch rules. We've been working on branch rules for quite a while. What is it about? Traditionally, our settings are in different places. We have settings for protected branches under repository. We have settings for approval rules and status checks under merge requests in the settings. And it was hard for users to put these different things together in their mind and clearly understand which rules apply for which branch. And it seemed to us that users want to think about the rules in connection with branches. Therefore, we're changing the setup and creating a new thing, which is branch rules, where you will find all the rules that apply for a specific branch or a specific branch wildcard or for all branches. So you'll find here in the settings a summary of the rules that apply, and then you can also see the details for the branch protections, for the approvals, and also for the status checks here. In the first iteration of this, you will still make the changes in the traditional places. So you will manage branch protections under repository branch protections and manage merge requests and also status checks under in the section settings merge requests. So that's going to be released in 15.10. Then we've also done user tests, and generally the create stage performed very, very well. One thing where we didn't perform very well was the operation of protecting a branch. Users always thought when they want to protect a branch, they would need to go to repository branches and then somehow find the setting for protecting the branch here. Now, in the past, because our settings were in different places, it wasn't possible for us to give a good deep link here for changing those settings. Now that we have them all in one place, what we will do is provide links here on this page to change the settings for specific branches. This will improve the end-to-end experience around protecting branches and setting different rules for branches. We are going to start with this also in 15.10, but we're going to continue this in the quarter, where we will add more cross-links between code owner file and settings for requiring code owner, approval and the other way around, and so on. We're also going to, later in the year, we're going to further work on branch rules, where we will allow you to edit branch rules. Right now, you can only view those branch rules, but in the future, we want you to also edit them right here in the detail view, right? So much about branch rules. The next topic is forking. Let me go right to how this will look like. We're going to add a new UI element here that shows you in your fork how far it is ahead of the parent project, how many commits it's ahead, and how many commits it's behind. If it's behind the parent, we will show you a sync button that will allow you to sync it with a click of a button. And if you're ahead, then you will see this create merge request, which will let you create a merge request on the parent project, so contribution becomes easier. Until now, you would have to do this on the command line, and we think this will be a huge improvement for the forking workflow. The next topic is tags. We want to improve the experience with tags to make it more transparent which commits have been tagged. Tags are a very important feature in Git, and we want to surface it more. So in the future, in the tag, in the commit list, you will see the the commits that have been tagged. Let's briefly look at how this looks now. Right now, you will see the list of commits here, but you will not see any tags here. So if you want to see tags, you have to go here, where you then also see the commit IDs here, which have been tagged, and you would have to go back and forth to understand this. This is a very requested feature, so we're going to release this probably in 15.10. And then maybe later this quarter, we're going to also improve the commit detail page, where we will show you in which branches a commit is present, or which branch has it as a tip. Likewise with the tags. Some of these functionality is already there today. However, if you have a large project with many tags or many branches, we'll not be able to display it now, and we hope we can make improvements that even in those cases where you have many tags and many branches, we'll be able to show you this information. So much about tags. Finally, code owners. I've already mentioned the contribution of Jihu. We're going to do more work in that direction that addresses large organizations or that addresses organizations with monorepos. One thing that we're planning to do hopefully this quarter or a bit later than this quarter is multiple code owner files, which will allow organizations with monorepos to have multiple code owner files that are manageable by different parts of the organization. So there's a separation of ownership of the code owner file, so they can control that individually. And yeah, so much about that. Also very popular, especially from users that have monorepos. Then we also want to improve the experience of creating a code owner file and also maintaining a code owner file. We've observed that it's hard to understand the syntax. It's hard to understand how to maintain these files. So we want to do a couple of improvements here. We will start maybe in this quarter with syntax highlighting and basic validation of the code owner file. So basic validation means syntax validation. And then later this year, we'll do more advanced things. We want to do validation to understand whether the users that are entered there are still existent. We want to validate whether the files are still there. So this is more for something later in the year. And so much about these plans. Since we're starting a new quarter, I want to also outline what we're doing with the OKRs in this quarter and the coming quarters. So I've talked about this overall score that wasn't very good here, it was poor. So we hope with these improvements about the overview and about these end-to-end experience for branch protections, we will reach a at least fair score in the next review of this user benchmark. And certainly this is not our end goal. We will add also editing of branch rules, and we hope then that we get a good or excellent score. But that's for a later quarter to have as an OKR. Code owners, we're also going to prepare a longer sequence of key results that we are laying out here. So in the beginning, we want to do the engineering work in Q1 and Q2 to help users understand the code owner file better, syntax highlighting and syntax validation. Later, we want to do more advanced validation, and we want to start tracking how many code owner files are broken. And we hope with those improvements, we will have less code owner files broken over time. And basically in Q1 and 2, we're going to do the engineering work. And in Q2 and Q3, we're going to track this and see how the engineering work actually improved the experience by having less broken code owner files, and by also seeing that more organizations dare to pick up code owner creation. We'll have more objectives and key results around resolving customer bugs and also maintenance work by removing feature flags. So that's it. If you have questions, please consult this page. Please reach out to me. Don't be shy. My name is here. And the very last thing that I have to say, disclaimer, all the things that I said are what our intentions are today. But these intentions can change as the world changes. So please don't make any purchasing decisions or planning decisions on based of the information that I gave here. I hope you like this update. Have a good day. Bye-bye.